Exposing SMG had uncovered some juicy secrets about Meghan's interview with Variety. According to Exposing SMG, source and just common knowledge, the Variety interview was already finalised before the Queen passed away. It was announced in September that it will be getting pushed back, which tells us it was already complete. But Meghan reportedly redid the majority of the interview and photos following the Queen's death. The source said, when the Queen passed away, she begged Variety to redo the whole photo shoot and edit her interview. Usually, when a celebrity has to postpone a project such as a magazine spread, it's very rare for it to be redone because that costs time and money. In the case of Meghan, the original Variety interview seemed to poke jabs at the royal family, but after the Queen passed, it was redone for Meghan to seem more content instead of being her usual spiteful self, and it was done to include how she's mourning the Queen. Meghan claims to have shared a great warmth with Queen Elizabeth, as if the Queen didn't call her out for lying, saying, "Recollections may vary." Recently, royal expert Neil Sean claimed that Variety allegedly claimed Meghan thought it would be a good idea to include her own personal tribute to Queen Elizabeth. Mr. Sean added, "What we saw was Meghan finally admitting that this was a lady who'd done so much as an independent person, really driven everything forward as one can imagine." Mr. Sean added, "This was a little bit baffling to many people because, as we now know, Meghan and Harry didn't really seem fit or have time to visit our late monarch when they were coming over to London to pop up to Balmoral at her own personal request, with or without said children, even though allegedly Queen Elizabeth had met them all before. It's very confusing." Exposing SMG source said, "She's still pissed at the royal family for not giving her kids any royal titles. She and Harry are very in the hole right now when it comes to their finances. They're living in a house they can't afford, they have bills they have to pay to keep with their extravagant lifestyle, and not to mention she's spending money like water. She's pissed at Netflix for pushing her and Harry about the return of their investment for the docuseries, which, by the way, they will not be editing to suit their narrative, given she was talking mad shit before the Queen passed away. She just unhinged at this point. Through the vanity photo shoots and magazine spreads, her narcissism knows no bounds." She spent the majority of the Cut interview whining and moaning to the point where you can feel Alison's irritation with Meghan through her writing. Her interview for the Cut had a really bad reaction from the press and the general public because it was very tone deaf, out of touch with reality, and Meghan being a professional victim regurgitating the same old bullshit. She wanted to change the interview because there were some disparaging things she said about the royal family. One thing we do know is that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are literally in no man's land with the UK and the royal family. She knows now that anything that she said behind the scenes will be put out there if she doesn't watch her step. Now that Queen Elizabeth is gone, they aren't protected. She's backtracking with a Cut interview because of the backlash she faced after she had to face her in-laws and the British public at the funeral. The ironic part was her scary self was complaining and threw a fit when she wasn't allowed at Balmoral when the Queen was on her deathbed. Furthermore, royal expert Neil Sean added, Meghan has hit back basically claiming she couldn't win either way, so she decided to include her own personal tribute into the Variety piece. This was because if she didn't include it, then people would say she was being insincere, unkind, and of course, not showing respect. However, if she did include it, then people are accusing her of basically, running on the back of the late monarch. You see a point, Mr. Sean added.